Hello students, welcome to the English class. I am Roopna Ravindran, Assistant Professor of English, Government Degree College, Chevalla in Rangareddy district of Telangana state. Today, let's discuss the topic phrasal verbs. This topic is discussed in the Unit 3 of your General English textbook, English in Use, prescribed by Osmania University for BA, BCom and BSc students. So what are phrasal verbs? As the word denote, it is a phrase and it contains verb in that. It denotes actions. Phrasal verbs are phrases that indicates action. They are generally used in spoken and informal text. So phrasal verbs are actually a combination of 2 or 3 words from different grammatical categories. So in that phrase, definitely there will be a verb, and accompanied by the verb will be another phrase, another word, or it can be 2 words also. So what are the words that come along with this verb to make a phrase? So it can be an adverb or it can also be a preposition. Sometimes both adverbs and prepositions come together with the verb. So these as a package makes phrasal verb. So let us read this. Phrasal verbs are combination of 2 or 3 words from different categories. So to form a phrase, you need at least 2 words. So here you have 2 words or 3 words. A verb along with an adverb or a preposition or both to form a single meaningful unit. So to form a single meaningful unit, that is a phrasal verb, what do you need? You need a verb. Along with the verb, you need an adverb and also preposition. So in certain cases, you will have the verb plus adverb. In certain other cases, you have verb plus preposition. In certain other cases, you have verb plus adverb plus preposition. Okay. So let us look at the examples. Rather than relying on the definition, we look at more of examples so that this concept will be very clear for you. So what are the examples given here on the screen? Turn down is one example. So turn is a verb here and down comes as a preposition. Run into. Run is a verb here. Into is a preposition. Sit up. Okay. So let us go to the next slide. What is the next slide about? This slide has different examples. So from this slide, you can differentiate a phrasal verb from a main verb. So look at the first set of sentences. Children hold their parents' hands while crossing the road. That is the first sentence given. So what is the verb in this sentence? Main verb. Hold. Hold is the main verb. That is why I have given it in white over there. So the same verb comes as a phrasal verb in the next sentence. So let us see what is the transformation. When I called, she asked me to hold on. So when I called, she asked me to hold on. So hold on is a phrasal verb here. So you have added on the preposition along with the verb hold. So it carries an entirely different meaning here. Hold on means wait. So it doesn't have any relation with the meaning of the actual verb hold. This has a completely different meaning depending upon the context in which you are using the phrasal verb. Let us look at the second set of examples. The mirror broke into pieces. So in that sentence, the main verb is broke. Look at the next sentence. My car broke down yesterday. So it doesn't mean that the car broke into pieces yesterday. It just means that it had some problem and it stopped working. So here, with addition of the adverb down, the verb broke acquires a completely different meaning. So broke down means stopped working. So another example, you must look before you leap. Here look is a verb. Look at the other sentence. She is looking after her parents. Looking after means she is taking care of her parents. I am looking forward to meeting you. So here you have look along with forward, an adverb, and then to a preposition. So looking forward to means I am waiting with happiness to meet my parents. I hope you have understood this. Let us go to the next slide. Here you have certain phrasal verbs which have different meanings depending upon the context. Look at the sentence, first sentence. My car broke down yesterday. It means that car had some problem and it needs repair, so it stopped working. Next one, she broke down when she failed in the test. So it has a completely different sense in this sentence. The phrasal verb has a completely different sense in the sentence. Broke down here means she cried. She felt very sad and she cried desperately. So that is the meaning of broke down here. Next set of sentences. You should back up your files so you won't lose them if your computer crashes. So here backup, you all need you need an extra copy of the files. So you back that up. That is the meaning here. Now coming to the second sentence. He crashed his car into a tree while backing up. Here backup doesn't mean the same as in the first sentence. So it has a different meaning. Here backing up means reverse. When the car were reversing, it crashed because it hit a tree. So that has an entirely different meaning in this sentence. Now look at the third sentence in this set. There is a ton of traffic. The highway is backed up for miles. So there is lot of traffic. Here backed up means actually packed. So there is lot of traffic and the whole highway is packed with vehicles for miles. Here you have certain phrasal verbs. You see the verb here is same, but the adverb or the preposition added along with the verb are different. So when it takes different adverbs or different prepositions, you can find that the meaning automatically changes. And sometimes we cannot guess the meaning also. Some phrasal verbs may have literal meanings and they are easy to understand. For example, she walked across the street. So here it is a literal meaning. It has a literal meaning. Walk across has literal meaning. But sometimes it is very difficult to understand the meaning of phrasal verbs. You cannot make it, you cannot understand from the words that are given. So what do you have to do? So before looking them up in a dictionary, so it would be helpful for you to use the context to understand them. So you have to be aware of the context in which it is used, because for one phrasal verb you will have different kinds of meanings. So they can have figurative or idiomatic meaning, or sometimes they can have a literal meaning. If it is literal meaning, that is direct meaning, it is easy for you to understand. But if it is figurative or idiomatic meaning, you will not understand it unless you have an idea about it earlier. Okay. So here let us look at the phrasal verbs that are given here. First one is asked around. What does that mean? To ask many people to get one information about something or someone. So you go around, you ask about your missing phone. So in that situation, you use the phrasal verb ask around. So ask around is to ask many people to tell one information about someone or something. So what is the example given? I have given the example in the next sentence. We usually ask around before trying a new restaurant. So we don't suddenly go to a restaurant and eat. Before going to the restaurant, new restaurant, we ask people and we take their opinion. Otherwise, we'll not go. We won't be aware of the kind of food they serve. So we ask our friends, we ask our relatives, and then only we go to the new restaurant. So asking so many people means ask around. I hope this is clear for you. Let us move on to the next one. Asked out. So what does asked out mean? To invite someone to go with you to a cinema, restaurant, etc. So if you are interested in going out for a romantic relationship or with a girl or a boy, then you ask out him or her. Okay, so you are inviting someone to come with you for a cinema or to come with you to have coffee at coffee day, like that. Okay, so here you have the example given. Tom had asked Susan out for dinner. So Tom invited Susan to come for dinner, but she declined. She said no to him, saying she had other plans. So Tom is interested in having a relationship with Susan. That is why he asked out Susan to come for dinner. I hope it is clear for you. So you understood the differences between asked around and asked out. Asked around and asked out both have the same verb, but the adverbs added along with the verbs are different. That is why it has different connotations. Now let us go to the next set of phrasal verb, that is break in and break into. Break in is force entry into a building. So it can be thieves, it can be a fire force person, it can be police. They are just forcefully entering into a building. But break into is done only by people who are intended in doing theft. Robbers break into your building, enter or open a place or vehicle or container forcibly, especially for the purpose of theft. Then you use sometimes use this phrasal verb to say that you broke into laughter. Okay, so you had a good laugh, you laughed aloud. To say that also you use the phrasal verb break into. So here the example is he broke into a fit of choking laughter. That means that he had a very good laughter. Now next set of phrasal verbs, that is called back, call off. What are the differences? Called back means your friend called you, you are not able to attend the call then, so you call back that friend. That is the meaning of called back. To telephone someone again. She will call back later this morning. Next one is called off means to decide that something will not happen. Means a meeting was called off, means meeting will not happen again. The program was called off. The program is will not happen in future. They have just put an end to the program. Declined the decision of conducting a program. So what is the example given here? She called off the wedding due to some reason. She is not interested in getting married, so she called off the wedding. I hope I am clear. We have only very simple phrasal verbs given here. So you can easily learn these things, and this in a larger picture will help you for competitive exams also. You will definitely get questions from phrasal verbs in your competitive examination. In any competitive examinations, you will have a general paper where you have to attempt English questions, general English questions. So in those questions you will get phrasal verbs. Now next one, check in and check out. When you enter into a hotel, a hospital, or into an airport also, you use the word check in. To arrive at a hotel, flight, airport, or a private hospital, you must check in at least 1 hour before takeoff. That means you have to come and give your particulars before the flight takes off. Check out means to leave a hotel after paying and returning your room key. So we checked out from the hotel at 5 a.m. to catch a 7 a.m. flight. So this is very easy. And even in our Toasted English essay by R.K. Narayan, we have discussed this check in, check out and all. He has considered check as the national expression of Americans, because Americans use check in different contexts. But here we have only two contexts which has its dictionary meaning also. That is check in and check out. Check in means entry into the hotel. Check out means you leave the hotel. Next is cut off and cut back. What are the differences? Cut off means a point or level which is designated limit of something. For example, to join engineering, you have cut off marks. For UGC NET exam, you have a cut off mark. Okay. That is a point or level which decides a limit for something. Example, an act of stopping or interrupting. That is not an example. That is another meaning of cut off. An act of stopping or interrupting the supply of something means electricity was cut off, power supply was cut off, means an interruption in the progress of something. Next is cut back, an act or instance of reducing something, especially the expenditure. There is a need to cut back the expenditure. Cut back means you are reducing something, you are reducing money, you are reducing the expenditure. Now going to the next phrasal verb, that is got off. Got off means to leave a place. The two young women didn't get off at that stop. They didn't get off at that space. They didn't leave at that place. Next is got out means, that also means leave, but it means a closed vehicle, a building, etc. The other one can be anywhere. Okay, so here she got out of the bus and watched him leave. It is a vehicle, so you use the word got out, not got off. Next, look after. Look after means to take care or to be in charge of something. He helps to look after his grandfather. Grandfather is very old and sick, so he needs somebody to take care of him. That is why we are using he helps to look after his grandfather. Next is look for, that is to try to notice someone or something. I am looking for my missing wallet. So you are trying to find out something. Next one is hang out and hang on. Hang out means to spend a lot of time in a place with someone. You go to mall, you hang out there. You spend a lot of time there. So what is the example given here? Drop them at the park and hang out for a bit. You drop your friends at the park and you enjoy with them. That is the meaning of hang out. It's a very familiar word. Next one, hang on means you have to wait for a short time. In her childhood, she used to hang on to her mother and would not let go of her hand. So she would just hold her mother's hand and walk. She used to hang on to her mother. She will not go anywhere away from her mother. Next is ran into. Ran into means to meet someone you know when you are not expecting to meet that person. For example, you suddenly bump into a person, you dash on a person that you know. So that is the meaning of ran into. Example is she then this is a literal meaning. This is in a different context. Ran into means you are going to. That is also another meaning. She then ran into the kitchen to grab the potato bake she had prepared earlier that day. That has a different sense. The first one I mentioned is that she ran into her school classmate yesterday. That means she accidentally met her school classmate yesterday. Next one is ran out. Ran out means finish. You run out of petrol in your car. That means the petrol in the car is finished. It is completed. There is nothing. Having said that much, he stopped as he had run out of conversation. So he has no ideas to talk further. So he has run out of ideas to continue his conversation. Next one, takes off. Takes off means aeroplane takes off. It flies. It begins to fly. If an aircraft, bird or insect takes off, it means that it leaves the ground and begins to fly. So the example given here is the plane was able to take off once the runway was cleared. So aeroplane going, we won't say like that. Aeroplane takes off. Takes after means you look similar to any member of your family. That is takes after. You take after your grandfather. What does that sentence mean? It has a different meaning. Take after means you look like your grandfather. You look similar to your grandfather. So here you have exercise 1. In exercise 1, you are given 10 sentences, and in these sentences you have brackets where you are given 2 phrasal verbs. You have to find out which is the most suitable one, and with the most suitable phrasal verb you have to fill in the blanks. Okay, so choose the correct phrasal verb from the options given at the end of the sentence. So options are given in white. You have to choose the correct one. And the meanings of these phrasal verbs are already discussed prior to this. We have discussed certain phrasal verbs till now. So from those, I have chosen these sentences, and these sentences are also there in your textbook. So this is your textual exercise number 1. So let us look at the first sentence. I dash, but no one has seen my mobile. It means that I asked many people, but none of them have seen my mobile. So which phrasal verb do we use? We have already discussed in the beginning. Tell me. Yeah, it is asked around. Asked around means you ask many people. So the answer is asked around. Second one, the fireman had to dash the kitchen to rescue the residents. The fireman had to break in the kitchen to rescue the residents. Next one, my boss dashed the meeting because of heavy rain. Means my boss cancelled the meeting. Which one is correct? Called off or called back? Called off is correct. Next one, don't forget to take the room keys when you dash. When you check out. So you take the room keys, you give it to the reception. Next one, diabetic patients are advised to dash sweets and oily food. Answer is cut back. Cut back means you stop something. Next one, we dash the bus when it reached our stop. We got off the bus when it reached our stop. Next one, this is your time to dash your old parents now. Look after, look for. Yeah, look after is the correct one. Look after means you take care. Next one, she loves to dash with our friends on weekends. Hang out, hang on. Answer is hang out. Very good. Next one, I dash an old friend of mine at the theatre. Ran into means you bump into an old friend of yours at the theatre. Next one, 10th sentence, she dash her father. Both love to read books. So resembles, which one is correct? Takes off or takes after? Takes after is correct one. So the answer is takes after. Next one, you have the same verb but you have different preposition or different adverb added along with the verb. So that makes a phrasal verb. So you have different words here. First one is fill in, second one is fill out, and third one is fill up. So what are the differences? Fill in and fill out has same meanings. Fill in and fill out has same meanings, but one is British English and the other one is American English. To write information in blanks, that is the meaning of fill in. Fill out also has the same meaning. To write information in the blanks, but fill out is American English. So we follow British English. So we have to use fill in. Please fill in the form with name, address, phone number, etc. So the third one, fill up. Fill up means fill to the top. You fill up the jug with water. I always fill the water jug up when it is empty. So it is clear, very simple, but you have to be very clear about this and you have to use it according to the correct context. Next one, you have the same verb turn here, but you have different adverbs or prepositions added along with the verb turn. So it gives different meanings. Let us look at these phrase and verbs. First one is turn off. Turn off means to stop a piece of equipment working temporarily by pressing a button or a switch. You turn off the TV, you turn off the mobile phone, you turn off the electric motor, etc. Okay, so the example in sentences, it is now safe to turn off your computer. So computer had some problem, but now it is safe to turn off your computer. Next, turn down means rejection. Somebody rejects whatever you have said, and it is also a decline. Example is, he has been turned down for 10 jobs so far. So he went for interview at 10 places, at 10 companies, but then he has been turned down. They were not interested, they were not impressed at his performance. That is why they rejected his application. He has been turned down for 10 jobs so far. Next one, turn out. Turn out means result or end up. This example, the job turned out to be beyond his rather limited abilities. So job had numerous capabilities and expectations, but then his abilities were limited. So the job resulted to be beyond his rather limited ability. So that is the meaning there in that context. Next one is turn over. Turn over means to flip over. She turned over and went back to sleep. You just flip yourself and then you sleep on the other side. That is turn over. Next is turn round. you turn in a circular motion. Turn so as to facing opposite direction. It seemed that someone was there behind me when I turned round, but nobody was there. I was walking, then I felt somebody behind me. I turned round at the back side and looked, but nobody is there. Is it clear? Okay. Next one is turn to. Turn to means you consult somebody for advice. Example, when I am in trouble, I turn to my parents to help me. Turn up, happen. Don't worry about it. Something will turn up, you will see. So don't worry about the present situation. Something will happen, so that you don't have to worry. Next is turn off. Here it is not O double F but O single F. That means a characteristic, a particular way of thinking. His supporters are educated people of a liberal turn of mind. So they are very free thinking people. They are very liberal, and that is their way of thinking, turn of mind. Next is turn upside down, which means to rotate top to bottom. That is, you put it ulta pulta. His whole world was turned upside down when his mother died. So here it has a figurative meaning. He didn't actually, his world didn't actually turn upside down, but then in his mind, his world turned upside down when his mother died. Turn in means go to bed. I am going to turn in. So you cannot predict the meaning of turn in from the words given here. Okay. So the figurative meaning or the idiomatic meaning of the phrasal verb turn in means that you are going to bed. I am going to turn in means I am going to sleep. I am going to bed. Next are the phrasal verbs formed with the verb look. Look for means you search for something. You must look for hotels elsewhere. Look after means to take care. Look to means you look to means you rely on somebody or someone for help or for advice. So as young children, we look to our parents for guidance. So you are look up to, you say. So same similar meaning. Next is look at, to consider or examine something. He turned and looked at his mother. He looked at his mother for her opinion. Okay. Look back means not your backside but your past. Look about something in past. Most people look back on their school days with fondness. Nostalgic. Okay. Next is look on means you watch an event without taking part in it. A large crowd looked on as the music band played. Look out means warning to be careful. The police have warned shopkeepers to look out for forged notes. So some people may give you currencies which are not proper, which are not actual forged notes. Okay. So you have to be careful about that. So to mean that careful, he has used the phrasal verb look out. Next one is look off. Look off means to put off one's facial expression. You make some different kind of facial expression, that is called look off. Another meaning is that you look into a different direction. Okay. So here the second one is used to give an example. He looks off into the distance again. Next are the phrasal verbs formed with the verb put. So first one is put away. Put away means add to one store for later use. You keep something away so that you can use it later. She told their children to put away their toys. You can use the toys to play later, but now you put it aside, you put it away. Put back. Put back means Postpone an arranged event. So something has been already arranged, but you're not going to conduct it now, you are postponing it. The meeting has been put back to the next Thursday. Next, put out means to stop something from burning. You say put out fire. Put down means you write something, or if it is about a person, then you are humiliating him, you are treating him as something inferior. Okay, so here I am using the first one, that is put something in writing. For example, we had the whole agreement put down in a paper. You write the whole agreement in a paper. That is the meaning of put down in this context. Next one, put in means you apply something, you apply for something officially, you say put in. Request, it can be a request, it can also be an interruption. Could I put in a word? It's an official usage, not very informal kind of tone. Next, put off means to cancel something. It's not postponing here. If it is postponing, you use the phrasal verb put back, but here you're cancelling something totally. That is why you are using the phrasal verb put off. He keeps putting off going to the dentist. Next one, put on means you are wearing something, you are wearing a dress, you are wearing jewelry, you are wearing shoes. She is just putting on her makeup. Put through means to continue with, to connect with somebody, or to make someone experience something unpleasant. So that is also another meaning. He has put me through absolute hell during the last year. So what is the meaning of put through here? Means he has made me experience something that is not very good, that is not very pleasant. Next one, put aside means to not allow yourself to be affected by a problem, argument, etc. They put aside the heaviness of their situation. They were in a very difficult situation, but they put aside that situation, the heaviness of that situation, and focused on their feelings with each other. Next is a table with the main verb take and different kinds of adverbs or prepositions added to that main verb take. For example, take up, take off, take in, take over, take out, take after, take down, like that. Okay. So take up means you start a new hobby. I am not very good at basketball. I took it up recently. Next one, take off, we have already discussed. Take in means to understand, to comprehend. I didn't take much of what the teacher said. The teacher said so many things, but I was not able to understand what she said. So, much of what she said. Take in means to understand or to comprehend. Take over means to get control of something. The firm was badly in need of a manager when I took over it. So, when I took over the position of the manager, the firm was badly in need of a person like me. That sentence is incomplete there. Whatever I have said, you can just write it down. Next one, take out, to remove something from a place. The dentist took out this tooth. Take after means you look similar to a person. I have already mentioned this. Take down means to write something on a paper, or it can be also to defeat someone. The teacher asks the students to take down means notes. That has a literal meaning. In another sense, it means to defeat someone. Throw. So here the main verb is throw, and you have adverbs added along with it and prepositions added along with it. So you have different kinds of meanings in different contexts. Throw away means you discard something. You discard waste. The team threw away its chance at the semi-final. So it had a chance to enter into semi-finals, but it lost it. It discarded that chance. Throw in means add something extra free of charge. Throw off means to confuse, get rid of. He is too young to throw off his experienced opponent, to get rid of his experienced opponent, enemy. Throw on means hastily put on. Throw on means you wear it. You just throw your shawl onto your body and then you walk, that kind of thing. You don't have time to put on. Put on means you are taking time and wearing something. Here you are just throwing something on you. She threw on her coat and ran out on the door. Throw out means again it is to discard, to dispense with something. I have thrown out my old boots. So here you have a textual exercise number 2, in which you are given different adverbs or prepositions in brackets. So along with the verb given in the sentence, you have to add these adverb or preposition. I don't know where my phone is. I must look dash it. So you have to add the correct preposition or adverb so that you get the meaning search. So the correct one is for. You have to write for. I must look for it. I must search for that. Next one, fill dash the second sentence. Fill dash the form with a pencil. Answer is in. Fill in the form with a pencil. So we have already noticed the difference between all these things. The music is too loud. Please turn the volume dash. Yeah, correct answer is turn the volume down. Turn dash the lights when you leave the room. Turn off the lights. Put dash your slippers when you enter the bathroom. Which one is the correct one? Put on. Please switch dash the TV. I want to watch the match. Switch off the TV. Take dash your shoes when you enter the computer room. You have to remove your shoes. We used to do it earlier. Take off your shoes. Next one, the food was stale. I had to throw it away. The fireman put dash the fire. Put out the fire. Hurry dash. We are getting late. Means to be quick. Hurry up. Hurry up. We are getting late. So, majority of the phrasal verbs that are given here are already discussed. So, I think you are clear about this. So, here you have the main verb bring, and there are different kinds of phrasal verbs formed out of this main verb bring. First one is bring forth, which means create, generate, produce or cause a particular reaction. So, here I have given an example. He has the ability to bring forth new ideas when needed. So, whenever needed, he has the capability of generating new ideas. Next one is bring back. Bring back means to come back with or to cause return. What did you bring back with you from your vacation? Next is bring in. Bring in means you introduce something new or you include something. She wants to bring in a change in the society. Bring up. Bring up means you mention something. You don't bring up unnecessary politics into this. Bring out means you present something to the public. You make it evident before the society. He so casually brings out the names of celebrities with whom he has supposedly buddy. So he is a person. He is a person who likes to talk big about himself. So what he does, he keeps taking names of many of the important personalities, celebrities, and then he mentions that they are all very friendly to him. So to mention that, to present that fact to the public, we are using the phrasal verb brings out. Bring down means to lose power or to reduce also. The latest reforms, the latest changes bring down the level of inflation. Bring on means to cause, to appear, to occur. The decision will bring on certain negative results. Next one is bring about. Bring about means achieve or to cause something to take place. Example, making a mistake will not bring about any big consequence. Bring off means something very much unexpected is going to happen, or you are going to rescue somebody. Had it been alerted in time, a nearby ship might have been able to bring off all the passengers from the Titanic. So here we have exercise 3. Choose the most suitable phrasal verb from among those given in the box and fill in the blanks. So in the box you have given the same phrasal verbs that we have discussed in the previous slide, that is bring forth, bring up, bring back, bring down, bring in, bring on, bring out, bring off, bring forward and bring about. First sentence, let us read the first sentence. The administration wants to dash a change in the work culture. Here from the context we understand that we need a phrasal verb which means to introduce. So we use the phrasal verb bring about here. Okay, so let us go to the second sentence. Old photos never fail to dash old memories. So we need a word which means recollect. So we use the phrasal verb bring back here. Because of the hot summer, the parents want the school to dash the exam dates. What will you write here? You need a word or a phrasal verb which means that you arrange the exam to take place at an earlier date. Means, bring forward. Fourth one, so depending upon the context, you have to select the correct phrasal verb. No one expected the new player to dash a sensational victory. So it is quite unexpected. We didn't expect the new player to bring off a sensational victory. Bring off is the correct phrasal verb there. The publisher hopes to dash the book next month. Publish. To make it presentable to the public means bring out. The opposition party tries hard to dash the government, to defeat the government, to bring down. Seventh one, the government wants to dash a new law to deal with cyber crimes. The government wants to include or government wants to introduce something new. Bring in is the correct phrasal verb. Next one, eighth. His casual comments sometimes dash strong reaction, sometimes generate a same kind of meaning. You need it in a phrasal verb. So the phrasal verb suitable here will be bring forth. You have to write bring forth. His casual comments sometimes bring forth strong reactions. Next, ninth one. He was advised to dash his proposal at the meeting. He was advised to, which one? Bring up his proposal at the meeting. Means he was advised to present the proposal at the meeting. Next, classical music does not dash a headache, does not create a headache, does not bring on a headache. Okay, so you cannot just rely on the dictionary to find out the correct phrasal verb. You have to understand the context, and depending upon the context you can write the phrasal verbs, correct phrasal verbs. I hope you are clear with whatever that we have discussed today. Thank you, students. Try to study more of phrasal verbs. You will definitely get questions from phrasal verb for competitive exams also. So prepare yourself well, read well, so that you get a hang on all the phrasal verbs that are commonly used. Thank you. Thanks for listening.